Welcome to Obscured Reality with Mark and Stephanie. From UFO sightings to the lost city of Atlantis, from alien encounters to the living dead, each episode will leave you questioning reality. If you're ready to explore the eerie, tune in to Obscured Reality, where mysteries come alive.
Oh, we're back. Obscured Reality. A little hiatus because of illness. Oh, it's going on. I hate it. Can't stand it. No, thank you. But we have uploaded some older episodes. The last one, don't give us crap about the quality. It's an older one. It's been sitting there for a while waiting to go up, and that's probably why it's a little jacked. So just deal with it. We have more important things to do tonight. We're back on the UAP UFO topic. Okay. Now, this isn't necessarily new news, but we're going to watch a couple videos. Okay. One of them's about 9 minutes. The other's about 6.
Okay.
The other video is a person on TikTok who is going over this video. Okay. So the reason we're going to watch the real video first is because you need to see it before you get anything put in your head. Okay.
And it's 9 minutes long.
Ish. You guys have all heard of Stephen Greer, right?
Yeah.
Famous UFO guy who has secret insider info that no one else can get, even though he's not a government official, to UFOs and all these high level people. Whatever.
Wow.
You all have opinions. You either like him or you hate this guy. I'll give you my opinion later. But we got to watch this. This video is from one of his events called CE5, which we've mentioned briefly here before. CE5 events so I think these are typically in Florida, or at least this one is. The CE5 events, he says, and we heard this recently kind of from Jake Barber as well with the egg UAP crappy video, psionics. So this is kind of like a form of psionics maybe. And what Stephen Greer does or says can be done is he go out there, he takes a group on a little camping trip out to the beach or wherever it is they go, and they meditate. And when they meditate, and I'll briefly explain what I recall hearing on this, they envision themselves out in space, and they envision our solar system or our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, from way out in space. And then they kind of like zoom in their brains, like if you close your eyes, but you just picture being way outside of the Milky Way, and you picture the Milky Way, and you picture you come in real fast to our solar system, right?
Yeah.
And then once you're into our solar system, you see our star at the center, and then you see Earth is the third planet from the sun, and you zoom into Earth, and then you picture the country you're in, and you zoom in, and you kind of keep going into the state, and then the city and all that, right to where you're at. And by doing this, he claims we can make UFOs appear, whatever these things are. Okay, that's what happens at the CE5 events. Now we are going to play the actual video from one of these. This was a while ago, but people did some digging, so we're gonna play it. Let me pull that up here. Stephen Greer. So this was, let me pull it up right. All right, and here it goes. First 30 seconds is no big deal, but it's there, so just pay attention.
Of the consciousness, the science of consciousness, specifically as it applies to training in meditation and the phases.
This is an advanced consciousness training, The event was a result of an invitation initiated by the members using coherent thought and meditation practices, also known as CE5 protocols.
Development for remote viewing and then doing the coherent thought sequencing. So you have a very clear understanding of it.
So now this is in Vero Beach. This is the video, about 8.5 minutes long here. If you want me to pause at any time, you got a comment, question, let me know. Here we go.
What is that orange object? Look how
Whoa,
beautiful.
whoa.
Oh my God.
Whoa,
Film
just
it.
don't pop
stand
too
up,
much.
please. Or crouch down and look, because you'll block our cameras.
Wow.
Those behind me may move and stand.
So I'm going to point some things out without trying to place any preconceived notions in your head. Notice when he says, "Oh my God, what's that orange light out there?" All these people there, their backs are to the light. He's facing where this light appears. Okay, just keep it in mind. What's up?
Could be external source of light. It could be a
Oh,
fire
no.
that they are sitting by.
We're not going there yet.
Oh, okay.
That's clearly out over the ocean. I mean, that's the ocean right there.
It's sun.
There's the beach. There's the ocean. That light just literally just appeared. Sun's already down. But we'll go into opinions after we watch this here. Let's go.
And okay, that you see that color? No. Oh no.
No, that's a
So
ship.
let's thank them for coming.
Wow, and it's above the.
Keep that in mind. You just saw that green flash of light.
Yeah.
That's from somebody's night vision, something, whatever.
Laser.
And I want to just mention that because in the next video, which is this guy who goes in depth on what could really be going on here, you're going to hear Stephen Greer in a second say, "Oh, turn off your night scope thing, whatever." But when you watch the TikTok video where this guy's totally blowing this thing up, you get that part where Stephen Greer is telling him to turn it off, but you don't see the green flash of light from it. Okay. So that guy turned it on. They realized all the light, boom, turns it off. So just remember that because context is going to matter. Here we go.
Sea
Please
level.
turn off your night scope,
There,
Charles.
turn off the night scope. That was why, because it just blew all that light out.
Someone's infrared or whatever.
Yeah, that's Charles.
So it appears it's kind of pulsating.
Whoa.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Another
okay,
alien.
Tom, you're two.
Whoever's right in the front, if you can kind of just stay low, because your
Stay low.
head is right.
You can get on your knees in front
Yeah.
of her.
Yeah,
Look
you
at
can.
this.
I like how the
Oh
dude
my
touches the
goodness.
girl like, yeah, get down lower. Bro, it's literally your head they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
homie, it's you, not your girl.
Okay, so I'm looking with the night scopes. There's no smoke. There's no trails. These are not flares.
so remember, he's told everyone to turn off their night scopes. He's the only one using a night scope. Okay. This will be important as well. And he is telling them there's no smoke. They're not flares. The night scope's what's going to allow you to see if that could be possible. But he, again, is the only one who's allowed to have his on. So let's go.
And
Oh my
okay,
goodness.
let's welcome them here.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
They were waiting for us to arrive.
But you're here.
Jacques,
Whoa.
please photograph. All cameras should be filming. So connect to them in your consciousness and invite them here. These are the golden ones I talked about.
Golden.
They'll go-
Now, just pay attention because context matters, and this is going to be necessary as well. Look at the positioning of each light. Okay. This one on the left is right between these two little branches, whatever's sticking up. This one over here is just to the left and partially over this thick branch here. Just keep an eye on that just so you know what's going on.
gold park, because the horizon is only 7 to 10 miles then on the conditions.
And I'll
So
tell you when it
it's
matters.
probably a couple miles. Everybody see
Wow.
them?
Yeah, they're so beautiful.
Let's welcome their beings on board to join us in meditation. That is such a beautiful color. So you'll never forget that color.
Now look where they are now.
Yeah, I see they've
One on the
moved.
left
Yeah.
has moved to the right. This one was here, has moved over here. And also important to notice, it looks like they both moved at about the same rate.
Yep.
Okay.
Did notice that.
Yeah, this is a
Notice
major
their height.
event. So we are grateful. So open your heart chakra and send them the beauty of humanity. And if you can
Yeah.
see what I'm doing, you connect with your palms out like this and your third eye and your heart making like a tetrahedron, radiating our pureness and love towards them. They emerge from the sky, but they're very, very close to the ocean. They're just hovering. They're not.
Whoever's just right in front of the
He did say they're just hovering.
yellow kind of blue jacket, your head's. No. Yeah, you just kind of went to go down. Okay, you know what?
Yeah, homie, you, finally you.
I am filming. Just trying to avoid.
Those in front, if you can get on your knees or sit on the ground and look in front of your chairs, but stay low. Thank you.
Just gonna reposition.
You need a higher tripod.
No, I can bring it high. I just don't want to.
Almost
don't
looks
wait.
like they're slowly moving down. It's so
Yeah.
far away that if they were, it's hard to tell how quick because it's so far. Farther away it gets, the slower it appears to move, right?
Yeah.
No time.
Well, this one disappeared on the
Mhm.
right.
Okay, that's clear air. It just sort of vanished. The one on the right.
Now, that's miles away. How do you know that's clear air? Because I do see clouds up there.
Yeah,
How
I
do
was
you
gonna
know
say,
it's not clear?
that's not
You know,
clear.
I hear a lot of thoughts being placed into people's heads here.
Yeah.
They've stayed pretty much the same altitude.
100% incorrect. They've not stayed pretty much same altitude.
Correct.
This one right here is the one on the left. That was originally over
Way
here.
over there, yeah.
And it was up a bit more. And from that distance, that's a good decrease in altitude. If that was a foot in front of your face, that would not be a very large decrease in
Right.
altitude, right? It'd be next to nothing. But let's go.
So
Wow.
let's invite them to come as close as they can.
Safely.
I need a time mark.
8:27.
9:15.
9:15. So we'll mark time.
10:27.
Oh, here we go.
9:15.
It's
Oh, that's gone into the ocean. See what it did? Okay, there is still an object there. Very faint, I
there?
can see with the nice.
now he said it went into the ocean, but the object's still there. It's very faint because again, he's the only one allowed to use the night scope here.
Go. Right here.
Yeah, that's where.
Now, the way that you know
Pause.
that's not like.
What is that?
So the green light that came from the exact same spot of
I was just gonna
Charles.
I was just going to mention that. So it could be I could be incorrect. That looks like it was probably a laser pointer
Yeah.
because that came on right when Stephen Greer said, "Look right here, it's right
Yeah.
there," and he shined it. So the night scope thing actually very well may not be associated to that, which is good. And my bad. That was the impression I got, but I didn't pay close enough attention after that to that little portion. But yes, I think you're right.
Okay, cool.
If that's where you were going, I think you're right. I think
Yeah, I
that's-
was just like, Charles,
Yeah,
are
so that
you
has nothing
using
to do
your
with
night scope again?
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with night scope. I think now, obviously,
Charles
so
is
when you watch the
innocent.
TikTok video, you're not going to see the green laser in at least that one portion or whatever, which is good. So makes sense now. Perfect. Let's go.
Aha.
something like a flare. First of all, it didn't shoot up and then come down and didn't drop.
It didn't shoot up and then come down and drop and blah blah blah. Do flares shoot up and then drop? Well, they do if you're stranded on a boat and you have a flare gun.
Yeah.
But planes drop flares. That means they don't shoot up. And if anything, say a fighter jet dropping a flare, they shoot those little things out of there. They just go pop, 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 pop. Well, let's keep going.
Yeah.
The first thing
Remember, it's not a flare.
is the nature of awareness. So awareness is.
Why does it look like those pictures are taken
if
from the
you're all listening to my
1970s?
voice, take just a moment to watch yourself listening.
So we're not going to go much more into the rest of this.
Okay, cool.
There's the camera on
I
that
know,
one.
I'm just saying.
But you got to remember it's nighttime too, so you're getting a lot less light in. And
Yeah, I understand, but it's funny. 'Cause, even the clothing looks like it's dated.
yeah,
And I understand that it's not a filter, and it's just like
2015. It's 10 years. That's
Not what
a
I'm
decent
saying,
amount
but
of time. I know, but
touche.
let me see here.
Okay, now subtract my voice, what you're seeing with your eyes,
So
your thoughts, your perception. Wait.
we don't need to listen to the rest of that crap. And the main part of the video is over. Okay,
Mhm.
now we're gonna watch a tickety TikTok video. This guy did a good job. Hopefully you agree. Um, here is this guy. His channel. Credit to this guy. Museum of Tarot. I know I've seen him a couple times. Like I've seen him pop up. I haven't paid
Mhm.
much attention, but I saw this. I was interested in the topic. I was like, oh, what? And I think he did a really good job. So it's going to be more important than ever to listen to this guy over Stephen Greer. So listen to what he says
Yeah, roll it.
and what we have here, and let's play it.
Stephen Greer fake a UFO sighting so he could justify all the stupid shit he claimed? If you love snarky Museum of Tarot, you're gonna love this video. So let's take a look at the evidence and you decide. As the story goes, back in 2015, Stephen Greer led one of his paid CE5 UFO summoning events in Vero Beach, Florida, or as we
Zero.
call it, South Central Long Island. And as they were sitting there on the beach, some spooky lights showed up.
Spooky lights.
First one, and then a few seconds later, another one. Okay, that's all fine and good and super spoopy. But it's something
Jinkies.
that Greer mentions and the situation around that event that should make you suspicious.
Okay, that you see that color? No. Oh no. Okay, so I'm looking with the night scopes.
Nope,
There's
nope.
no smoke. There's no trails.
It is
these are
not a plane.
flares.
Wait, what was that? First, he jumps on it when somebody says that these aren't planes, and then he goes out of his way to specifically state that these aren't flares. Let's say you went to a new restaurant and you got a hamburger, and the waiter brought you your hamburger, and you took a bite, and he said, "That's totally not rat meat." Like, dude, why would you even say that? Is this some kind of like Freudian guilty conscious shit going on? Well, you're about to find out. So Greer claims that there were no planes out there that night. In the video, he says that there were planes. Well, let's analyze that claim, shall we? As you can see from this flight data,
Props.
there was a small plane out there in the sky,
Oh.
right where they were sitting in Vero Beach,
Oh,
at the correct distance from the shoreline where they spotted the objects, and it was
interesting.
at the approximate right time. This was 9:11 p.m. that night, and we know that they were sitting out there at 9:11, right around 9:15 p.m.
Yep.
because Stevie asked for a time check.
Stevie.
9:15.
9:15. So we'll mark
10:27.
time.
So this plane with the registration N110 SU flew right past him at the right time, at the right area, at the right distance from the coastline. And we're going to see why that registration is significant in a moment.
Oh.
Something else that Stevie does here is also kind
Stop
of
calling him
He tells
Stevie.
participants to shut off their
calling
night
him
vision
Stevie.
scopes, which would have indicated whether there was a plane over the horizon.
Wow, and it's above the sea
Please
level.
turn off your night scope, Charles. Off.
In fact, he does this even though he says that he was using a night vision
Yep.
scope, controlling the information during the session so that nobody else could see what he was seeing.
Okay, so I'm looking with the night scopes. There's no smoke. There's no
Mhm.
trails. These are not flares.
Now, I don't know about you, but as a fully grown man whose balls actually dropped, if I paid some son of a bitch several $1,000s to go sit on a beach and wait for orbs to show up, and those orbs showed up, you better be damn sure I'm looking at it however the hell I want to. So for
Mhm.
Stephen to act like some school teacher scolding a child to turn off their scope when that adult presumably paid him to be there is sus and control freaky as fuck.
Yeah.
He also makes
Absolutely.
damn sure that his people are recording the incident, which if you went through that much trouble to set it up, you'd want to get all the press and publicity out of it that you could.
Whoa.
Good
Charles,
point.
please photograph all cameras.
I'll pause it real quick. He made a very good point there.
Mhm.
I've thought about this after I've seen a couple of these CE5 things, and I'm wondering, why isn't this so publicly known? Why isn't the government talking about it? Why isn't the powers that be all over this? Oh my God, this guy should be a gazillionaire. He should be sipping drinks with Elon Musk right now,
Mm,
but he's not.
no.
Let's keep going.
Cameras should be filming.
And indeed, ever since this event, this has been one of Greer's key pieces of evidence for UFOs. Right. Now, Greer's own footage gives us a hint that this was, in fact, a plane dropping flares out over the ocean. They had more than one camera set up, and this second camera looks like it captured some stills, and it looks as if they might have had the ISO turned up a little higher on this.
So this is that last camera we saw the still pictures from.
Yeah.
And that can allow you to see things in the footage that you normally wouldn't see with the unaided eye. And if I take these pictures and I enlarge them, and I put them side by side, you can see very clearly that there are lights leading away from the site on the two.
Now you got to zoom in a little more. I'd recommend go check this guy out and do it yourself. I'm not going to do it here. It's going to mess this up, but keep going.
Flares were dropped. And what this looks like are the aviation safety lights on the aircraft. And if we put them all side by side, you can see flare 1 drop, flare 2 drop a few seconds later. As they are dropping, you'll see the light farther and farther and farther away as it's moving away from the site where the flares were dropped. And is there any other indication that these were flares? Well, yes. If you actually look at the original footage and speed it up, you'll see that flare 1 shows up, starts dropping, and flare 2 shows up and starts dropping, and they drop at the same speed towards the horizon, and they blink out as they start.
But I swear to God, I just heard Stephen Greer say they were hovering, and they've pretty much remained.
They stayed at the same altitude.
To go towards the water, but they're also moving in unison, and they're being blown by the wind along with the clouds. Now, if someone wants to spin this, they'll say that the UFO showed up and then they went into the ocean. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why the hell would UFOs be blown by the wind? Get real.
But they weren't moving.
They sell these flares. They're actually pretty cheap. You pull the thing, the flare shoots out, and it drops down with a parachute. And they last about a minute or two until they burn out, which is exactly what you see in the footage. So I hope this is starting to paint a picture and you're starting to come to some realizations. But let's expand a little bit further and take a look at who that plane actually belongs to. As you can see, that registration is a Beechcraft Model 76 Duchess. But that Beechcraft was registered to an outfit known as Ari Ben Aviation. And Ari Ben Aviation is headquartered out of this airport in Fort Pierce, Florida, just south of Vero Beach. So even the flight path would have taken it north just along the same route that we saw with the flares. Now, in my opinion, Greer has been nothing but a disappointment over the almost 30 years that I've been watching his stuff.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he has not produced anything that I would consider actual evidence of any of his claims. We know he was funded by Larry Rockefeller to push Rockefeller's goofy little cultural conditioning UFO psyop. Greer, along with people like Bob Bigelow, Linda Moulton Howe, and even the Slurm Queen herself.
Oh, who's that? Anybody recognize her?
Hillary. We're all
Hillary Clinton. I mean, how much controversy has been around that family for, well, at least since the presidency. Dang.
Part of this. And through all of it, the only thing Greer has ever produced is stupid footage like this, his fake little Atacama alien body that was proven to be a malformed human. And let's not forget Bijou the Andromedan, which,
Our group, if you look, go to cseti.org, has a photograph of a extraterrestrial being that visited us transdimensionally that actually appeared in a photograph a couple of years ago at Joshua Tree National Park, and he was from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Oh boy, what convincing proof. Oh look, I think I spotted another one.
I can take a crappy photo at night and tweak the settings after the fact in the photo and get that.
Maybe if you meditate and open your throat chakra, it'll give.
There it is, right there. No comment. I don't know who drew that red line, if that was in that previous video or if this guy did that or what, but I'm not going to say anything. Use your imagination.
Yeah, a surprise.
I love that.
I'm assuming it was that guy.
This dude is subscribe.
So
that's fucking funny.
So you see that first video, you see the whole video without anyone's opinions. Well, opinion time. Here's what's always bugged me. Stephen Greer was, I thought at first I'd heard an emergency room Jesus, a surgeon. I had heard something else recently. He was emergency. This was from him, an emergency room physician. I think he said. I don't know if there's a difference. I would assume there is. So I don't really
Yes.
know. But his doctor, it was a doctor. Um, the assumption would be, especially doing what he did, the emergency room, all that, he probably made pretty good money. And if you have a lifelong interest in this subject, I have no problem with that. But why do you why do you quit that job to do this? And he said it. He quit that job to jump into this because of his own experiences or whatever. Like, he wasn't a doctor that long. I think it was, I want to say he said about 10 years. Like, is he making enough to retire for the rest of his life that long ago? Man,
Look,
how do you get into this and just start making money that easily where you can continue living, right? But maybe his wife makes a crap ton of money. Who knows?
maybe he has some good investing on the stock market. I
Yeah,
have
who
no
knows?
idea. Who
I
knows?
mean, could be
There's gonna be
anything.
so
Yeah,
many. He might still have a job on the side, and we just don't know about it.
who knows? But yeah, he's never. I've. I don't dislike the guy. He's probably a good guy. I have issues though. He's never provided proof. He's never provided evidence of anything. He always provides documents. He's got all these documents, like these top secret documents. It's like, how the hell does this guy get a hold of that stuff? He's made claims recently that he's been talking to, I want to say, Congress or government officials, even as high up as presidents, I think, had meetings with them and giving them breakdowns of what's happening and all this stuff. And I'm sorry, but I just don't see that.
No.
And something else I want to point out, and funny, but not to be funny. It's just interesting. You see a lot of people who talk about this topic, and I've seen this, and it's a lot of times it's the ones with really major claims, or people that are hardcore deniers in like the government. There's something off about their faces. Well, this guy, he just makes me think of those times you've heard aliens are here. They're kind of like cloaking themselves in a way so that they look like humans and this and that, but if you look closely you can see, hell, right? You've always heard that.
Yes, no matter what
Well,
alien story movie, that's what it is. They
Yeah.
it's either a zip on the back or they pull it off.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah,
yes.
let me pull a picture right now. Wait, right now.
Okay.
This is Stephen Greer. Look at his face. Look at his eyes.
That.
So, like, if
Ah!
if anyone wasn't really anyone and they were an alien, this guy, like, he'd be the first one I'd want to see what's under that skin.
More sugar.
So, it's nothing. I just always have thought of that. And,
That's some Men in Black shit right there. Like,
yeah.
I thought, okay, so sorry, Steve Tyler, but like, I thought he had an abnormally large mouth, like wide, but like,
well, and I don't know about a normally large mouth, but definitely
wide.
an enormously large mouth. See what I did there?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
But this guy is like beyond. Like, this is straight like out of a cartoon Joker style. Like,
it's not like one thing. It's like everything is.
The smile is the creepiest for me, though.
Yeah,
honestly.
He's got a ridiculously distinct looking face. That's all it is. But yeah, so he always makes claims. And so what do we see in this video? What we see is
claims.
People saying, "Oh, that's not an airplane." He's like, "Nope, that is not an airplane." And then boom, it's not flares and blah 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 blah. We see this same pattern with Jeremy Corbell, guys. Whenever he puts out one of these crappy UFO videos and claims aliens and discs and whatever, when you see the videos, you clearly see there's really nothing happening. But every time he feeds you a narrative that he's essentially saying you need to believe.
Yeah.
And out of all the possibilities in any one of those videos, out of all of the possibilities that any of those objects, depending on the video, could actually be, he always seems to pick out the one thing that it most likely is and says it's
No, oh
definitely
no, it's not that.
that. You don't believe
Definitely
me?
not that.
Go watch the jellyfish UFO video, UAP video from let's say it was Baghdad, blah 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 blah. I'm not sure. It was near a military
Over
base.
there.
There was another military base nearby with an aerostat up, aerostat, large blimp-like looking balloon with a lot of sensors and cameras. This was at another base watching the area with the cameras, right, at night, and it is a balloon. And go back one of our previous episodes. I don't know the number, but we went over what the guy who figured this stuff out and how to do it. It's a simple Google search, and you can find this balloon.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially proven it's a balloon, right? And
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
see anything weird going on in it. But what does he tell you out of any possibility that that object could have been? He picks out the one thing it most likely is and says it's definitely not a balloon. It doesn't look like any balloon I've ever seen. It doesn't act like a balloon, doesn't behave like a balloon, doesn't move like a balloon. Everything's balloon, but it most likely is a balloon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And you hear Stephen Greer doing that here. Nope, it's definitely not an airplane. And then boom, it's not flares. There's no smoke trails. By the way, keep your night scopes off.
So that you can't see what's going on.
Give me a
But
break. They're hovering.
That part did I completely agree with Mr. Taro over here. Like, I just paid you a lot of money. I'm gonna look. Like, that was a little wild, but yeah, the controlling of information that
That's all it
definitely
is.
stood out to me at first. I was like,
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I mean, you don't. That's why I wanted to play the real video for you first before Museum of Tarot's video. Because I don't want any preconceived notions in your heads, and you can tell even with that, that's what he's doing.
you
And
heard me laughing literally like 10 seconds into that shit. So like, I even apologized for laughing. I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta give it a chance. But like the
Yeah.
second he was like, open yourselves. Bring,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
let them
Yeah.
know that you're here. Take yourself
Well,
to them. Welcome
you know,
them with your heart
one of his-
chakra.
one of his big mistakes, which he should have accounted for, is the camera he had right there in front of him. It sounded like it was right in front of him. Was on a
Yeah.
tripod.
Uh-huh.
It's stationary. So
Yeah.
if you're going to claim these things are hovering and they're not moving at all, they're not going down, they're not moving sideways, you might not want to be posting the video that was taken from the tripod.
From the standstill.
And you might want to control even more information and tell people when they come that they cannot bring anything such as a tripod. So they can't get still videos of it.
That
way you can't tell, or he can easily deny they're not moving.
that part.
I'll tell you right now, if I had a chance to go to one of these with him, the first thing I'd be doing is pulling up flight radar if something shows up. Right? Flight radar 24, and
You
pull up the app,
would just
and
cause
you'd
so
be
much
like,
chaos.
yeah, I'd be like, there's a
beautiful.
goddamn airplane right there, guys. No, shut up. Your cell phone. But I wonder if the places he picks has very little or no cell reception. I don't know
Oh, that's a
about
good
Vero
one. I
Beach,
didn't even think about that. Even
but
more control.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua, oh shit, there ain't.
You can also buy, I mean, you can get them out there. It's easy. The devices that block cell signals within a certain radius.
Yep.
Now, I believe it's illegal.
Yeah.
No, not an EMP.
Not-
Not talking about taking down the entire grid of a city. But you can buy them. I believe it is illegal to do. But how do we know that he doesn't have one of those? And they get out there, he turns it on. Nobody's going to have a clue. And he's like, yeah, cell reception sucks here. I never have cell reception when I come out here and do my little meditations. Makes me wonder. I don't know, man. But what I do know is that video is crap.
yeah.
He's been doing this forever, and here we go again. Another video from him that's just junk. And if nothing else, you listen to how he talks, it already puts up red flags for me. And just the fact that what he said in the video was inaccurate about it's stationary, they're not moving, they're at the relatively the same
they're
altitude.
very clearly they were
Like,
moving.
If he didn't lie, I don't know what the hell that was, but your stationary camera just proved you wrong. So
Yeah.
you big mistake there. I've never really trusted this guy. I've watched some interviews with him. They're interesting. It is interesting to hear what he has to say. If anything, it's more entertainment value than anything. But also makes me wonder. So, the whole UAP thing that's been going on since 2017, right? Lou
Mhm.
Elizondo came out, ATIP, 3 videos that were crap. And then Jeremy Corbell, TTSA with Tom DeLonge, and then he gets Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon, some big name guys in there, an
Mhm.
unlikely crowd. And Corbell's posting all these videos and they're crap. Well, some of them have referred to someone, and I don't know who, because they haven't said, but they have referred to at least one or possibly more people as um, basically snake oil salesman.
Oh well, I
I
mean,
don't think it was
duh.
those words, but that's what people like some of these guys like Lou Elizondo or Jeremy Corbell, I don't know who exactly it was, um, have said. And I have a feeling they're referring to this guy. However, he does the opposite, and he doesn't really talk trash about them at all. He's remained pretty good, I think. But he claims the opposite,
Right.
of them. And I'm having a hard time believing any of them now. Like, I never believed Stephen Greer, but this whole Lou Elizondo thing and Jeremy Corbell, like, I don't trust Jeremy Corbell anymore. And Lou Elizondo still remains up there. I really like the guy. But you look at his background and what he's done, worked for the DOD and all this stuff, man, look at the last congressional hearing. That one was with Lou Elizondo, and I think we did one on that. Maybe not. But I was excited when I heard that congressional hearing was going to happen and Lou Elizondo was going to be there. I was like, what?
Mhm.
I watched it as it happened. Like, the first question out of the gate from one of the Congress people to him, his reply, I can't discuss that in a public
Yeah, no, we
format.
definitely talked about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus, because it's been alluded to that these guys like the Lou Elizondos, the Jeremy Corbells are the ones that are like really blowing up the Congress people's ears and have pushed to get these public congressional hearings set up.
Only
And
to not provide any information.
yeah, and rumor that some of them are number one, kind of briefing these Congress people to give them more insight into what's been happening, the history and all this, so they have context and all this stuff, but also rumored that they're kind of giving them questions to ask. Not that that's wrong,
Mhm.
but these people are asking the questions, and we saw with that last congressional hearing, Representative Luna, at the end, someone was interviewing her real quick, and she's like, look, I don't know, I'm getting kind of perturbed about this because they're telling us all this information. We're coming up here. We're asking the questions. They want us to ask these questions, and we're asking, and they never can answer.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And all that crap, and especially this stuff from like Stephen Greer. Now we hear people. I saw it for the second time today. Someone posting something about, guys, I don't know how much more proof you need that aliens are real and that they're visiting us. But what do you want? And this one specifically said also, do you want them to pull out a flying saucer from the hangar and
Yes.
show you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
Absolutely.
You know what? Fool me once, right? Fool me twice. And this is what they've been doing since 2017. And you can clearly see people such as myself are beginning to lose faith in what they're doing. And it's not because of exactly, the topic, but it's because they keep making promises and nothing happens, or it's not what they say, or it's not near as big as they say. Example,
Yes.
Lou Elizondo. I could be wrong on the date, but about a month ago. And right now, this is Monday, March 17th. Okay. Approximately a month ago, he made a statement. He said something on an interview or something. He said, there is something big coming in about 2 weeks. You're gonna know it when you
Yeah, I
hear it.
remember that.
And then
It was
he
nothing.
says in about 2 weeks, he goes, it's actually probably gonna be in about a week. Well, the time's passed.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened.
Nope.
Nothing. And this is what they've been doing since the beginning. And then when the public gets the UFO community, whatever, gets in an uproar and is like, what's going on? Where's the stuff? Then these guys come back and say, guys, you need to be patient. You need to hold on. This is something that takes time and blah, blah, blah. No, it's
No.
been 7 going on 8 years now. No. And the ones that are clear cut BS artists, I think something needs to be done. They need to put them out. I mean, like Stephen Greer. I don't know how he's still getting away with this, but at what point is he going to be on the level of what was that guy's name? You guys will know, the conspiracy theorist guy that was saying that one the one pew pew at the learning center where a bunch of little ones were off.
Oh, Alex Jones?
No. Yeah, Alex Jones. Like, at what point?
I like how you were searching so hard to find the words that YouTube would not automatically pick up.
But at what point? At what point is someone like Stephen Greer getting close to that level? I mean, he's charging people money for this event. You can clearly see. I mean, I don't need this Museum of Tarot to tell me that that's probably BS, but I'm glad he did, because he looked into it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You clearly see like what's going on.
Alex
and
Jones
doesn't make sense.
Just, I don't think this guy will ever be on the level of Alex Jones, because Alex Jones just went to a whole different personal level of attacking.
I don't think he will either. But at what point of defrauding people
do you
start to become held accountable? I mean, people are paying what would appear to be about thousands of dollars to go to the CE5 crap. Man, I don't know. But I don't know. What do you think about the video? What do you think about the Museum of Tarot? He's funny. And he's dead on.
I mean, I was obviously laughing in the beginning because it was fucking hilarious to me already. With, open your heart chakra. Let them know that you're here. Tell them that you're here. Like, no, that's not how this works.
Sorry.
And just like when you were explaining to me the whole process of imagining yourself from outside the universe and coming in, and that's how you attract aliens. Like, no, that's a really good way of probably going to sleep and like giving yourself a mental trip on dopamine. Like, that makes sense in my head, where maybe you would be able to convince yourself you see visuals because you're getting into that sleepy phase. Because I know, like, when I shut my eyes after a long day, I have colors and lights and dances.
Well, you do the meditation thing, but then you you open your eyes and
obviously
you allegedly are seeing things.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you see that, it doesn't go away after you open your eyes, like right away. Now, does it last a minute? No. But at the same time, you could consider it, an orb or something like that. Oh, I saw an orb. No, you didn't. You saw like a burning like rod in your retina. That's what I'm saying. Like, the whole meditation, like, I think that is a great way of putting yourself in a mindset that is sleepier, that is more relaxed, that opens your mind to different ideas and not exactly seeing things for what they are.
Yeah, it's a good way to this is
hypnotism,
definitely the wrong word to use, but it's a good way to kind of sense brainwash you or reel you in to what's about to happen in the narrative I'm going to tell you.
It's like a minor or mild, there we go. It's a minor hypnotism, I feel like.
Almost, yeah. I mean, close enough. I mean, you're putting all the thoughts there.
Yeah, you're literally giving a narrative.
Yeah, and if you're charging high enough price, you know that the majority of the people you're going to get that come to it are people who are intensely into it and probably are going to believe anything you say.
Seeking, searching,
You
wanting.
charge $20, I'll be there at the next event. And I'll be bringing night vision, night scope, whatever.
Night vision goggles.
I will purchase infrared camera and bring 3 tripods, one for all 3 cameras, and God damn it, I'll live stream it too.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Why wouldn't he be live streaming it if he has this much, if this works so much, so well, so often? Man, this guy should be rolling in dough from this crap.
He should be like Joel Osteen and like
he
feel
is.
it through the screen. No, like the whole feel it through the screen. Like, yeah, like I don't think that he'll ever be an Alex Jones, but he absolutely is going to be a Joel Osteen.
Yeah, he won't get to the level, but
No.
I mean, he's already probably defrauding people, it sounds like. So,
oh yeah.
It's fun to watch, especially depending on the, context of which you're going into it with. But this guy, I'll still, keep him in my head and keep up on him, just because it is interesting. It has to do with the topic. But, I've always said this, you cannot just go blindly put faith into things like that are outlandish. You really have to look at the facts and the evidence. And the facts are right there in the video. I mean, he straight up told you exactly what those objects were doing by telling you they're not doing it. And he told you probably what they were by telling you that they weren't those things. Guys, 2 plus 2 does equal 4.
Wow.
So use it. Any afterthoughts on this before we head out of here? No, Stephen Greer. Okay. I'm sure we'll be going over him again. I'd like to look into his background and go into that and get some info out there, because I'm not 100% on his background. I'd like to know a little bit more on that. But cool.
Get to know the actors.
Yeah.
A little deep dive on.
Hopefully it's his real name. Obscuredr1@gmail. It's right up there. If you have a personal story of your own, you've seen a UAP, an orb, ghost, Bigfoot, shoot us an email. Type story in the subject line. Tell us your story. We'll tell it for you on here anonymously. You want to come on the show? You can. Tell your own story. It's easy for you to do. Just let us know in the email, and we'll do that. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Let us know what you think about Stephen Greer, especially if you've been following this topic for a long time. I'm curious what some of you guys think about him, what he's about, and what he puts out. With that said, St. Patty's Day, happy Green Hair Day. We saw a rainbow in the rain tonight.
My hair is always green.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.